Welcome to another edition of Dave Bazan's Garage, or David Bazan's Garage, depending how you want to see it at the moment. Now, here is a car that is unique in the sense that I actually own this in real form. It's a sedan version of the original Honda Civic. Now, mine was in silver, not in yellow, and mine was a 74, not a 76, as this one is, but the exact same car is really what it is. Now, I'm not finding this exactly as photogenic as I would hoped it would be, but then again, on the playback, you just never know. Because this is one well-styled car. It's not attributed to any sort of well-known stylist. There we go. But you never know. I mean, sometimes a well-known stylist styles a car and agrees never to share the fact that it wasn't the company involved's stylist that styled it. But to me, it looks like a Honda design. This was the very first real car that Honda made. And I remember seeing it in Motor Trend as a preview picture. And up until that point, Honda had come out with the 600, which was a tiny car. And it was the type of car that you would expect a motorcycle manufacturer to come out with. It was tiny, it was too small, it was cute, and it actually had some good style to it, but it wouldn't be anything that you would really want to get around in. I mean, there are some going around still, and you just look at it and marvel how tiny they were. But you got to start somewhere, and being Japanese, they're very, very appropriate. They don't start at the top. They start like, excuse me, but you mind if I bring car to your market? I won't make big fuss, I guarantee. Well, now in 1973, we got news that Honda was making an actual car. So instead of thinking, oh my God, the Japanese are invading us, we thought, they're actually trying to see if they can't do a real car. Well, good for them. So you kind of want to cheer them on. But I think in some ways we weren't hoodwinked, but that we were psychologically maneuvered a bit to not feel as if we were getting our lunch about to be eaten. We thought, well, if they want to try and see if they can make a car, good for them. And they did make a car, and they made a very good car. And the Civic was one of those amazing milestone moments where everybody realized that compared to the Chevrolet Vega or the Ford Pinto or the AMC Gremlin, which were slightly bigger, this car had all the goods those cars had and just did it better. Its only real peer might have been the Toyota Corolla, but the Toyota Corolla was a size bigger, and it was just the portent of things to come. And soon after 1976, they came out with the Accord, which was a stretched Civic, and we thought, oh, good for them. But there was method in their goings about. I mean, they really thought that they were going to break into the car business and had a plan to do it. This car was really well put together. There was no second class to it. The American Vega and Pinto were considered to be lead-ins to people that were going to buy the real Chevys and Fords. Plymouth didn't have a car of their own. They imported one from England and Japan, the Cricket and the Colt, and it took people by surprise that you can make a quality car that people really wanted. I liked my Honda Civic. I mean, I drove it a lot. I don't remember how many miles I put on it, but I got it in 74 after I had, crashed my Vega. And I've always liked practical cars, even though I'm a car nut. And, I drove it. I took this around Lake Superior. I mean, believe it or not, 1977, from Detroit, where I was living, with a friend of mine, even up to Thunder Bay, Ontario, around Lake Superior, down to Duluth, and it was a great road trip. And the car just held in there. And then I finally sold it in about 1978. I wasn't very good about keeping a car. I was a kid, didn't have much money, and so I kept it for about 3-4 years, and then I sold it to a woman who bought it from me from the want ads. I hope she enjoyed it. I would have held on to it. I bought a Renault 5 after that, but all that's water under the bridge and nothing to really be spreading around. I'd like to say I had muscle car after muscle car, but I had a 78 67 Olds Delmont 88. That wasn't a bad car to have. A 75 Buick Regal. I mean, so I did have, real cars. But then I had a 1984 Civic. But this Civic was the champ. I mean, this Civic had everything that you'd want, and it doesn't have opening doors in this, but it had everything you want in a frontier car of its sort. My car, which is like this one, I'm surprised they even made a model of this. I got two of them because, you see them, then you don't see them anymore. But instead of doing the hatchback, they did the trunk version. And I had a trunk version because I got the basic car, and it was kind of cool, I mean, you had a trunk. And how many cars like that have trunks nowadays? Hatchbacks ruled the roost after that. And, the Civic has grown up. This car was tiny. It was maybe 150 inches long. The current one's 180 inches long. And even the Honda Fit, which no longer is fit for the U.S., was quite a bit bigger than this. So, you start where you start. This car was a classic. Now, are people buying it as a classic car? That I don't know. Have they survived in any sort of relevant way? Can you find them? I don't know if I don't think they rusted out. I think they were built to stay, but they were all, I don't know if people thought of them as disposable or who knows. But the fact is that I am glad I own another one. This Honda Civic, if I had the skills, I would paint it silver and have my old car back. But I do have two of them, so I could give it an attempt and I might just do that. I mean, because I'm staying home a lot and without, ruining my only car of this sort. And, it adds. It adds to all the other cars I have here. The Mustang, the 62 Chevy, the 74 Chevy, the GTO from 69, the Corvette Stingray of modern times, the Packard from the 50s, 80s Firebird, 70s Eldorado, Subaru from 95, the clamshell wagon, the Eldorado, the Chryslers that I showed first, and the Chryslers that I showed second, all the way to the Firebird that I have yet to put on one of these videos. But this Civic, you'd love to go for a ride in it. I mean, I drove mine all around New Haven, all around Orange, Connecticut, and nobody complained. I had even a postcard with a picture of it on the inside. I think it was a green one. And I'd like to take you out for a ride in this, but people have all gotten bigger. I don't know how I'd fit in it, so, I'd fit into the Fit maybe. But, so we're going to have to test sit in this before we actually take it out on the road. So there you go, my friends. That is the 1976 original Honda Civic, and we have one right here, and you are welcome anytime you want to come visit me and hold this in your very own hands. Well, I thank you for joining us here at David Bazan's Garage, and we hope to see you again next week.